Hey, everybody. Hey, welcome to Remixing Relationships. This is the finale and season 1 wrap. Yeah, we did it. We did it, y'all. I'm so excited. We are ending season 1 of Remixing Relationships. So, those that have been following the whole season, I thank you so very much. I'm so excited because here's the thing. You guys know. So if you don't know, I have been doing remixing relationships always. I've been talking about remixing relationships on social media platforms and going out on speaking engagements. And even on my podcast, Shine with Kendall. Make sure you check out all those episodes that ran for 12 seasons, and I took a hiatus from that podcast to start this one, right? So over there on Shine with Kendall is all about life coaching and breaking it down, different subjects. And season 11, I focused on relationships. So that's why I was like, everybody keeps calling me the relationship coach, remix coach, because I do focus on relationships a lot as well, and healing. That's huge. As a healing coach, that's huge. So I said, well, why not start a podcast where we can talk to amazing people and focus on relationships? So I did that, and I'm just getting started with this. Season 1, we did that, just getting started. But I want to say, wow, what an incredible journey season 1 of Remixing Relationships has been. We've explored so many important aspects of promoting healthy connections and doing things differently in our relationships. Thank you to each and every one of you for tuning in, sharing your stories, commenting, talking live. I appreciate y'all and embracing the remixing all the way through. You guys had amazing questions through season 1. You did a lot of commenting, gave me show suggestions, and I appreciate each and every one of you. As we wrap up this first season, I hope you've gained new insight and tools to build and nurture the relationships that matter most important in your life. But don't worry. We're just getting started. Season 2 is on the horizon, as I talked about, and it's going to be bigger, deeper, filled with more powerful conversations and guests that push us even further. Stay tuned because we're diving into fresh topics, featuring more incredible guests, as I was saying, and continuing the journey and pushing that needle forward about healing and growing together in relationships. It's so important. All right. So, welcome to this last episode of season 1 of Remixing Relationships. This is a place where we dive deep into the art of creating and sustaining healthy connections. If you don't know, I am your host, Kendall Anisha, fave life coach, the remix coach. And together on this show, we'll explore fresh perspectives, excuse me, uh, strategies to transform your relationships. Whether you're looking to strengthen, heal, or completely remix your connections, you're in the right place. And we're going to get started with this last episode of season 1. All right, well, I got to see where all my peoples are, because let me tell y'all showed up and showed out during this podcast. I had a lot of regulars, which I appreciate. My cousin was always on. My friends were always on. People that I have never seen before were on, and I just again, I mean, I can't thank you enough. I appreciate each and every one of you for taking time out on a Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to listen and look at this podcast. So, some of the podcast episodes are up on Spotify and Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Amazon Audible, um, Apple Podcast. They're all over there. And then I'm still uploading episodes there. So you'll get to see that. I'll have some sneak previews on the audio version. So make sure wherever you get your podcast audibly, make sure you check it out over there, because we will be coming back for season 2 October 28th. So it's going to just be a 2 week hiatus, a quick one, and then we're going to get into season two. And man, I got some amazing things happening, amazing guests coming for season two. I'm excited about it all. All right, so we're going to end this last episode with recapping some of the episodes, and we're going to talk about healthy relationship goals because everybody on social media is like relationship goals, right? But the only relationship goals it should be, in my opinion, in my professional and personal opinion, are healthy relationship goals. It doesn't matter the relationship that you see on social media if it's not a healthy relationship off of social media, because so many people focus on social media and the relationships they see there, and they want to emulate the relationships that they see. But the relationship goals are healthy relationships. All right, so I just want to recap some of the shows that we did, and then we're going to focus on healthy relationships, and I'm going to give you some tools to use in your relationship if you're in a current relationship, if you are dating, if you are single looking to date, engage, you're going to be able to apply this everywhere. You're going to be so excited if you're single, like, oh, I can't wait till I get into a relationship so I can practice these healthy relationship goals. All right, so we started this podcast some months ago, and the first episode was don't bring your ex to your next relationship, right? And that was a very good episode, and just talking about the baggage in your current person you're in a relationship paying the debt for an old relationship, because a lot of healing might have to take place, and some healing is lifelong, ongoing. But a lot of times if you experience trauma or just not, different things in relationships, you're holding, whether you trusted someone and now they betrayed you or anything like that, then you go into the next relationship, your dukes are up, your guards up, because of what you experienced in your last relationship. So sometimes you bring your ex to the next relationship even if you don't know it. So definitely check that out. And that episode, I had an after show. So if you didn't see the after show, that's available on YouTube also. So if you missed some of the episodes, you definitely can pick them back up. All right. So also, let me put my little banner up so you guys know. So this is the season finale wrap up of Remixing Relationships. All right. So, and then the next one I talked about, where's my hug and kiss? Y'all don't know. If you don't know, you can ask me or you can watch that episode. Hugs and kisses have health benefits, physically and psychologically, as well as emotionally. So sometimes when you're just like, oh, I want my hug and kiss, you don't even really know that you may need that hug and kiss physically and emotionally. You may need that hug and kiss. So you got to check that episode out. Let's see. How do you deal with, let's see the question. And thank you so much for your question. I appreciate you. How do you deal with your significant other paying more attention to social media for attention, likes, and not showing you any? Whoo, child. All right, I'm going to answer that one. That's a good one. How do you deal with your significant other paying more attention to social media for attention, likes, not showing you affection? All right, Mac, let's keep it all the way 100. A lot of times nowadays, that's what people are doing. They're not paying attention to the person in front of them, whether they're eating dinner, whether they're watching a movie, whether they're going for a walk in the park. A lot of times now, people are not focusing their time on the person they're in a relationship with, because they don't care about that person saying you look beautiful or you look handsome or you're smart or you're intelligent. They're focusing on what people on social media say about them, and they don't even know these people most of the time. So that's a conversation that must be had, and you're not showing your person any type of affection in person because you're focusing on your phones. So how I would deal with that is to really have a conversation with the person, and just say, hey, that's important to use I language when you're bringing up some type of possible conflict or conversation because the first thing that the significant other may say is that's not true. Or no, it's not like that. But you have to say, I feel, I feel that I feel or I would like more affection. If you're able to maybe cut some of your social media time in half and spend time and know that I'm the one that's here. I love you. I care about you. I'm showing you this type of affection. And it's not that she might be feeling something else in her on social media. And it may not have anything to do with you. And that's the thing. Because sometimes you could be doing all the right things. You could be saying, all the right things and doing all the right things. But because of the energy on social media and everybody is posing and putting pictures up for likes and comments, they're forgetting about the real people because social media oftentimes is fake. So I would just have a conversation with her, letting her know how you feel first of all. But just know it's a possibility she may be defensive at first and say that it's not true. So that's why you have to make sure you use I statements and not say you. That's the quickest way to lose that connection. But I wish I could say that this is uncommon, but this is very common. And it probably is not going to end. And it's something that's feeding her and it has nothing to do with you. It's something that may be missing in her life. You could be doing all the right things, brother, but still, that's something. So I would just have a conversation and that's all you could really do is to tell her how you feel. And if she cares about how you feel, it's a possibility that she may say, okay, I didn't notice. If she's the type of person that wants to work on herself and say, okay, let me see some of the things that I can correct in this moment to be able to do that. But yeah, that's happening a lot. I thank you for that comment. And if you have another one, hopefully, please let me know if that helped. I know that was the long answer. All right. So as we continue to recap, and if you have questions, if you're watching live or if you're watching the playback, definitely put your questions in. If you have show ideas that you want me to talk about in season 2, put those in the comments, whether you're watching live or the playback as well. All right. So we talked about the hugs and kisses, and then we talked about recovering from arguments. So if you're a person that grew up somewhere on one side of the area and then the other person grew up, let's just say, on another side of town or city or state, you have your family of origin. You're different people. Your experiences are different. Your background is different. Your upbringing is different, possibly. And there's a possibility you're going to get into an argument. And an argument is not a bad thing. When you're arguing, you know that you still care about the person still cares about you. It's good to have healthy arguments as long as you have them in a healthy way. No name calling, no screaming, hollering, fussing, yelling, all of that. But hopefully, before it gets to an argument, you're able to have a discussion and conversation. So that was a good one. The wrong relationship can deter or slow down your purpose. It could be a distraction. Talked about that. Uh, Episode six was all about, are you ready for the relationship you claim you want? And I had my guest, Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr., sitting right on the couch with me, and he kept it all the way real as he always does. So check that out. Episode 7 was marrying for money or love. So many people are marrying for money and not love. People say that marriage is a contract, and sometimes it's a business contract, a business arrangement, right? And sometimes people are marrying for love. Sometimes the person that they're marrying for love knows that they're marrying for love. So that was a great show. That was episode 7. Episode 8 was about prayer, partnership, and progress. That was a very good one. If you're looking to know if you have a purpose partnership, or if that's something that you want, that's a great show for you. so you can kind of remix your relationship now, or have your eyes open and your ears open for a purpose partner and listening to God, because you can get a lot done with partnership and prayer. So it's that episode was prayer, partnership, and progress. Then we had can men and women really be friends? I had who did I have on there? I had Regina Smithwick on there, and I had Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr. on there because he's a friend of mine. He's a male, and then I had a woman's perspective, and I wanted to hear what both parties were saying. So that was a good one. Both of my guests were not afraid to speak and give their opinion and their views, and I love guests like that because then I had mine. So you get three versions of if you think men and women can be friends. And we gave a lot of good scenarios. We gave a lot of good information on that. So go back and check that one out. Then I had older women, younger men. My cousin asked me to do that episode. She's 50, and a guy who was 35 considering dating him. So that was a great, great episode. Older woman, younger man. And then we had settling for the pieces. You know how people say, I'd rather have a piece of man than no man at all. Oh, I'll just take this woman because she is here right now. And this is my until I get my next relationship type of relationship, and just settling and talking about settling in relationships as most people do a lot more than you probably think. That's why some people, after a significant period of time, they end up splitting and say, hey, they've been settling in their relationship for a very long time, and they woke up, bumped their head, and discovered that, hey, I don't need to settle. I am worthy and I'm worth more. And some people settle in relationships by being okay with being the other man or the other woman. And it stemmed that episode stemmed off of the you can have a piece of my love guy. And if you really listen to the word, you can't have all of me because I'm not totally free. So it means that he has somebody else, but you can have a piece of it. Like you could be the chick on the side, the side piece, and how some women and men, because there are a lot of men that people don't know about, how they could be okay with that. Uh, I did a true love story with talking about my friends Basine and Joe. And at that time, he was sick suddenly, and it was their anniversary, their 25th anniversary. Had been together 27 years. And I wanted to celebrate their love on that episode. And I did that. And she was in the comments, and I got to share their song and how they love each other. And since then, that episode was September 24th. And he passed away September 28th. So just 4 days after that show. So please pray for her. She is a great supporter of mine. She's always in the comments. She's always, and she's a great friend, always, um, just everything that I do, she's a part of it and she wants to support that. So that was my way of supporting her and honoring her relationship. And it's pretty sad. I'm not even gonna lie to you. But remixing relationships, I look at their relationship and not as relationship goals, right? Because you could be your own relationship goal as long as it's healthy. But I look at them as goals as far as even being together that long, they were still lovey dovey. She still was giddy. Every time she heard his name, she would mention his name all the time. So if you sat with her for 5 minutes, she's going to at least mention his name maybe a minute, 5 times each minute, and my heart goes out to her. And we're talking about relationships and marriage and partnership and progress, and talking about friendship within the relationship and promoting healthy relationships. And that was just a beautiful episode. And I'm glad that I got to do that for them. And also remixing real life love scenarios. So that was a great one. That was actually last week. That episode is up. 14th episode. This is the 14th episode. So plenty are on YouTube, and some of them are on the audio version podcast. So you'll be getting those throughout the 2-week hiatus because the episode is the 8th. So my guess with that, remixing real life love scenarios and talking about, I could have remixed that and did that differently. Maybe I didn't respond the right way or react the right way. And I had my guest Sheila Dunbar on there, and she's had a lengthy marriage as well, over 20 years. And that was a great discussion because that was an honest discussion. She talked about real life events that were happening in her marriage. So you definitely want to check that out, and how she could have handled things differently in her marriage and how she would have remixed that. So let's see. Thanks so much for that. I did exactly what you said, telling her how I feel. Her response was to downplay it. I figured that. Then next thing was she deleted and blocked me from her TikTok. So, question, Mac, you're in a relationship and she blocked you from her TikTok. Is that correct? I want to make sure I get it correct. Like, this is not some woman you're just dating casually. This is somebody that's you're in a relationship with. And because you told her how you felt about her relationship with social media and how you felt neglected, her response was to delete you from TikTok. Is that correct? And I already knew she was going to downplay that because those were your feelings. And oftentimes when somebody has their feelings, sometimes they can't see past their feelings. Now, I don't know her. She could be an amazing girl. I'm sure she is an amazing woman. Um, yeah, let me see. Thank you for sending healing power her way, the Hedgemans. Oh, so wait a minute. This gets interesting. So you have been dating her for 4 years. So have you had a communication problem prior to this? You expressing how you feel and her downplaying how you feel? Is that something that's new? Because I guarantee you that this is not the first time she downplayed your feelings. And remember, you teach people how to treat you as well. So something happened early on where the communication was a little foggy. And the communication being foggy, meaning that you weren't seeing through to the other side of someone else's feelings. So I'm curious to know if this is the first time you've experienced something like this. I'm guaranteeing that it may not be the first time. And the block is because she's posting inappropriate things in a relationship, maybe on TikTok, or she just don't want you in her business because you're complaining about her being on social media. I'm curious to know that. So as we wait for Mac's reply, and I thank you for participating. I've seen you watch the show before, so I appreciate your support. All right. So I want to talk about on this last episode. So if you're just tuning in, welcome to the last episode of season 1 of Remixing Relationships. We did it, y'all. I couldn't do it without you. I thank you for your support and watching. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, like, share, leave comments, whether you're watching live or the playback. And if you know somebody who is looking to date or is in a relationship, because somebody might be saying, Kendall, I'm in a great relationship. I don't have to remix my relationship. Well, even if your relationship is great, it could be fantastic. It could always be better. And remixing your relationship is healthy because you don't want to keep doing any aspect of your relationship the same way. You want to implement fresh ideas because some relationships can get stale and boring and you have to remix it. Sometimes you can get comfortable, you can get lackadaisical. You could say, okay, well, they ain't going nowhere. I ain't got to brush my teeth before I go to bed, or I don't have to, smell good, or I don't have to call them on the phone, or I don't have to hug anymore, or I don't have to tell him or her where I'm going, or, we're just passing each other. He works this time, I work this time, she's over here. And then next thing you know, it's a year of maybe you not spending time together. It's a year of you not knowing how the other person feels. And that's where disconnect starts. So you really want to revive and renew and remix your relationship. And even like I said, if it's great, it can be fantastic. It can always be better. Or if you're single looking to get in a relationship, you want the tools in advance. You want to hear from other people and their perspective. It's not salacious over here. It's all about growth and promoting healthy relationships. All right, let's see what Max says. No, it's the first time. She says she's going to correct. Oh, well, you didn't say that part. That's excellent. Go, girl. She's going to correct and stop what she's doing, but it continues. Long story short, she's lust, let me see, lust a lot and makes inappropriate comments on guys' pages. I got it. I got it. So she's lusting. She's saying, and I just want to make sure I got you correct. This is the first time she's downplayed your feelings, which I'm so glad to hear that. I'm so glad to hear that after 4 years. I'm glad that she cares about your feelings. That's important to me. And she says she's going to correct and stop what she's doing. Now I'm getting the full story. So she's blocked you because she doesn't want you to see inappropriate comments over the guys that she's lusting after on TikTok. Did I get it right? I hope I got that right. Yeah, that's when you apologize, change behavior has to begin. So, yeah, I'm sorry about that. So how do you feel about that? How do you feel about not only her blocking you on Okay, I got that right. All right, perfect. So, how do you feel about her blocking you on TikTok? And how do you feel about her commenting and lusting over other men? And have you seen some of the comments? And what do you feel about that? What's the next step for you? What do you think your next step is? Because it is disrespectful. It's disrespectful. Could you guys get past this? Absolutely. If you have a conversation, like a for real conversation, and it sounds like you have, but letting her know how this affects you. And this is something that you may not want to continue to deal with. Something's going to have to change because there has to be a level of respect. And as I say that, I'm going to get into um, healthy romantic relationships and tell you what healthy romantic relationships look like. And this is not just for Mac, this is for everyone. But social media, I'm telling you, I had I had the pleasure of being on divorce court, not getting divorced, but just, as a an audience member. Um, that was a nice gig. I did 6 episodes. But and I was watching, so I've always liked the show Divorce Court because they give wise information. And I remember before I was on there with Judge Faith, but Judge Toller was on there and she was talking about the statistics of social media and how many people come into her courtroom on and off television. And one of the leading causes of their divorce is trust, infidelity, and social media, all surrounding social media. So that is one of now, I mean, think about 5 years ago, 10 years ago, that wasn't even a factor on why people were getting divorced. Now that is a huge factor why people get divorced with social media, whether they're connecting with old flames on Facebook, or inappropriately having conversations, in the DMs with someone when they're in a relationship, or sending suggestive pictures through social media. So that is one of the number one reasons that people are getting divorced these days. And I think that we're in a different world now. Let's see. And yes, I could see everything she liked in the comments. Thank you for your time. I'll give others a chance to ask questions. Yeah, that's definitely with everything, and I don't wanna be repetitive, but that's a conversation that you really need to have, and you need to decide because, nobody, the man or woman, doesn't deserve to be disrespectful. I feel very disrespected, especially let me see, I feel very disrespected, especially if I tell her how I feel, but she makes it about her. I totally get it, and I understand that. I really, really do. Um because your feelings deserve to be validated, you know? They deserve to be validated and that's with anybody in a relationship. And that's the healthy portion of it. Not so much quick to respond and to be in denial, but really to listen and to validate the feelings. But that's not something that you can continue dealing with. It's disrespectful to you, as you said. I hope you're able to get through that, and I hope that you're maybe able to have another conversation or speak to a life coach. Definitely, you guys can make if she finds it, worth doing, or she takes a moment to really listen to your heart. I would love to give you guys a free consultation and life coach both of you over this subject and do it in private because I don't want to say too much on here and I need to know a little more of the history of your relationship as well. All right. So, what does a healthy romantic relationship look like? Healthy romantic relationships are built on mutual respect, trust, and open communication. Had no idea that you were going to ask this question. These are in my notes as I prepared for this show. So, healthy romantic relationships are built on mutual respect, trust, and open communication. Here's the breakdown of what a healthy relationship typically looks like. Number one, mutual respect. Both parties value each other's opinions, feelings, and boundaries. They treat each other with kindness and appreciation, honoring each other's individuality, right? Another way what a healthy relationship looks like. Trust and honesty. There's a strong foundation of trust where both parties and partners feel secure in the relationship. They are honest with each other and feel confident that they can rely on one another without fear of betrayal or dishonesty. Number 3 on my list, and this is before you asked your question, Matt. Open communication. Healthy couples communicate openly about their feelings, needs, and concerns without fear of judgment. They listen actively and work to resolve conflict through understanding, compromise rather than blame. Emotional support. Number 4. Both partners are there for each other through life's ups and downs. They offer encouragement, empathy, and the sense of safety, helping each other grow individually and together. I'm talking about what healthy relationships look like, romantic relationships. 5, healthy boundaries. Each person in the relationship maintains their own identity and interests while also making time for the relationship. They set and respect boundaries to ensure that both people feel comfortable and supported. Equality in partnership. Number 6, there's a sense of equality where both people contribute to the relationship in meaningful ways, sharing responsibilities and making decisions together as a team. Number 7, physical and emotional intimacy. Very important. There's a balance of both emotional and physical connection with affection, love, intimacy that feels comfortable and fulfilling to both. 8, conflict resolution. Disagreements happen, but in a healthy relationship, conflicts are handled constructively. Partners approach conflicts with respect, avoid hurtful language, and seek solutions that work for both without harboring resentment. Number 9, encouragement of growth. Healthy relationships encourage both partners to grow as individuals, their support for each other's dreams, goals, and personal development. So, those are 7 ways a healthy relationship shows up in your life. Healthy romantic relationships are a safe place, y'all, to grow, safe place for love, safe place for connection, where both partners feel valued and empowered to be themselves. That's what healthy relationships look like, y'all. And that's what I'm promoting on this show. We can get into a relationship like that. I've had healthy relationships when I thought they weren't even unhealthy. Some are blatant. Obviously, you get into a relationship, some unhealthy relationships are blatant, blatantly unhealthy, and some have maybe patterns of somebody else that you've had, or maybe patterns of a parent or parents of someone else, and you latch on to those type of relationships. And if somebody is doing something, say for instance, you had a mother or father that said, that always maybe yelled at you or said, "Oh, you never gonna be amount to nothing," or you watched a father talk to your father talk to your mom a certain way, or you know, things became normal. So then if a man or woman speaks to you in that way or does certain things that you've grown up seeing, then you think it's just normal. You think it's totally normal. You said, "Oh, okay, my father had a wife and a girlfriend." So then when you get with somebody and they have somebody else, you're thinking, well, that's normal. And certain things are unhealthy. And that's why I wanted to do this podcast, to promote healthy relationships and doing things differently. It's never too late to remix your life at any age, phase, or stage. So in a relationship, you can definitely remix your life. Let's see. And yes, I could see everything she likes in comments. Thanks for your time. Oh, okay, I saw that one. I just wanted to make sure. Um, but yes, I'm so excited that you guys continue to join me this season on Remixing Relationships. There's so many things that I have in store for you guys, as I told you in the beginning, for season 2. So I appreciate you. We're going to take a quick hiatus, a couple of weeks, and then October 28th, we are going to get started with season 2. I got a lot of great guests, a lot of different surprises coming up in season 2. So if you have any subjects, topics that you want me to discuss in season 2, type of guests you want me to have on, definitely let me know. I want to hear from each and every one of you. And I just want to say thanks again for allowing me to share this platform with you. You guys were very engaging throughout this season. You had amazing questions. You were sharing your soul. You were sharing your personal business. And I don't take that lightly. I appreciate that. And Mac, I appreciate you for putting this subject out here. You may be dealing with this and you may think that you're the only one dealing with this, but with social media, I'm trying to tell you, you are not alone in this fight. I hope that you all can have a healthy conversation, and she actually listens to what you're saying and makes some changes. But everybody deserves healthy. Everybody deserves the best, and you have to be in a relationship where both parties are getting what they want, and mutual respect. Especially if you're in a committed relationship, and you said you've been in that for 4 years. But again, thank you everybody for your support. Get ready for season 2. It's going to remix your world even more, y'all. Again, season 2 is on the horizon. It's going to be bigger, deeper, and filled with more powerful conversations that push us even further. Stay tuned because we're diving into, again, fresh topics featuring more incredible guests and continuing the journey of healing and growing together. Thank you for joining me today as we've explored new ways to remix and strengthen relationships, focusing on what a healthy romantic relationship looks like, go back and watch the other episodes. We have 13 more episodes on this platform, Remixing Relationships. If you haven't subscribed to the podcast, please do so. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so. Also, if this blessed you or if you like what you've heard on this podcast this season, please share out some episodes to your friends, family, and on social media. Remember, healthy connections are within your reach, and together we can create the love and life you deserve. I am your host, Alanisha Fave, life coach, a remix coach, signing off for season 1. Yay! The power to transform is in your hand. Until next time, God bless y'all. Peace. And keep your questions coming. Check one last time. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Please share this out on your social media platforms as well as to your friends and family. Until next season 2, I'll see y'all then. God bless you.